Hello everyone, we are Team Gcash and I am the project manager, Hannah Lorraine Ginandoy. Welcome to our project presentation with a demonstration. Our project is a web application called Pomodify, a customizable Pomodoro productivity tracker designed to help users stay focused through flexible timers, activity logging, and progress tracking. Before we proceed to the architecture and DevOps of application, I will first discuss how project management was handled in our project. Project management for Pomodify focused on keeping the project aligned with the scope, timeline, quality, and collaboration. We followed an agile-based approach, breaking the project into manageable sprints. Tasks were clearly defined, assigned to owners, and continuously monitored to ensure consistent progress. We primarily used Notion as our project management tools. Notion allowed us to centralize tasks, timelines, documentation, sprint boards, and progress tracking. Its real-time updates and flexibility supported transparent and efficient collaboration. We completed 14 sprints. Each sprint included clearly defined tasks with assigned owners, regular check-ins to track progress and resolve issues early, retrospectives to improve workflow for the next sprint. The tech Pomodify was built using a modern and scalable technology stack. Angular for the back end, Spring Boot for the back end, PostgreSQL for database management, Docker for containerization and environment consistency, GitHub Actions for CI/CD and automated workflows. Project management enforced a definition of done, ensure all features were fully developed, tested, and reviewed before completion. A four-layer testing approach was applied: unit testing, integration testing, end-to-end testing, and security testing. Backup and contingency plans. To address potential risks, contingency plans were established. If a team member became unavailable, tasks were reassigned using well-documented workflows in Notion to minimize delays. For technical challenges such as bugs or integration issues, core features were prioritized while optional enhancements were scheduled for later sprints. With multiple roles involved, clear communication was essential. Project management ensures responsibilities were defined, work overlap was avoided, and progress remained visible to the entire team. That concludes the project management overview. We will now proceed to the architecture, DevOps, and followed by the demonstration.
Good day everyone, I am Daniel Victorioso, the tech lead of Gcash for architecture of the project. First, we have the hexagonal and clean architecture. For hexagonal architecture, in here, the outside world connects through ports and adapters. So the business logic is completely isolated from the outside world. In the clean architecture, we have four distinct layers. So we have the presentation layer, application layer, domain layer, and infrastructure layer. In the presentation layer, the REST APIs or the endpoints um, are are located, and the services are in the application, and the business logic or the core logic of the project is in the domain layer. In the infrastructure layer, in here are the databases, connections, and the external API. For the next architecture of our project is the domain-driven design and microservices ready. So in domain-driven design, um, it is a software design approach where the code structure mirrors the business domain. So the back-end architecture will be created according to the real life business logic that we determined. For the microservices, the front end and back end are completely decoupled, so we can scale easily. And next for our architecture are the JWT and Google Auth. So in JWT, we have self-contained token that carries user identity information. So how does it work? um, when the user logs in, the backend will issue two tokens, which are the access tokens and the refresh tokens. So every front end request, it will include those two tokens. So the Spring security will validate those tokens, specifically the access token. This access token expires every 15 minutes. So when the access token expired, the refresh token will be used to request another access token. For the Google Auth, it is a protocol for delegating authentication. It is used for logging in with Google. For our next architecture, we have the real-time features. So in these real-time features, we use complementary technologies for pushing data to client without them asking. So we have the server sent event and the FCM. This server sent event is handled in the backend. So even when the user doesn't do anything, the notifications will be delivered in real time. So for delivering push notifications, we use an external API, which is the FCM or Firebase Cloud Messaging. So in FCM, we use FCM tokens that are registered when the user create a session. So this token will be used when requesting, and the backend will use this token to know where the notifications will be sent. For our next architecture, we have AI powered assistance. So for our AI feature, we have two distinct features. First is the smart recommendations action wizard, or the intelligent onboarding wizard. In here, the user will be able to board easily within our application. The AI will suggest topics or to do task with the input from the user. For example, the user input a topic about learning Angular. So the AI will suggest two categories, which are the beginner and intermediate level. So the user can choose between these two. For our another implementation of AI feature, we have the intelligent suggestion of to-do task for the user. For our next architecture, we have the Progressive Web App, or PWA. It's a set of web technologies that make a website behave like a native mobile/desktop app. So in here, the users can install the application. So the application will feel like a mobile application, even though in reality it is a web application. So why is PWA essential for this application? Some applications can send notifications when the browser or tab is closed. So with the PWA, it is solved. And also, with PWA, the application feels first class or premium. So how does this work? So we have the web app manifest. This manifest tells browser that this application is installable. So we also have the service worker, which is the background JavaScript that enables offline push. So the last fi- uh, component for the PWA are the meta tags. So these meta tags will be used for iOS or Android compatibility. So for our next architecture, we use performance strategies. So we use caching, asynchronous, and scheduled jobs. So for caching, these are used so when the user requests a data from the server, this data will be saved through a cache. So when the user requests this data again, it will be served faster. instead of requesting again from the database. For asynchronous, for asynchronous processing, the async processing allows long-running operations to execute in background threads without blocking the HTTP request. The user gets an immediate response while work continues behind the scenes. So when the user clicks send email, usually it will wait 3 seconds for the SMTP, then he will finally get the response. So the user clicks generate AI, wait 5 seconds for API, then the user feels frozen. The page feels frozen. So with async, when the user clicks the send email, it will automatically get a response, and then the SMTP will be sent. So why is the async strategy powerful? So with async processing, there is an instant feedback, so the user sees response immediately. There will also be a better UX. Page doesn't freeze during slow operations. Throughput, server handles more concurrent requests. And resilience, email failures don't break registration. So the last for the performance strategy that we use is the scheduled backgrounds. So the scheduled jobs are automatic background tasks that run at fixed intervals without any user trigger. It is perfect for cleanup, notifications, and monitoring. For our next architecture is the containerization. So it is packaging the application with all its dependencies into isolated reproducible containers that run identically everywhere. So with this containerization, it is typically used to solve the problem that with my device it works, but for the others it doesn't. So this containerization solves this problem. For the last architecture, is the GitHub Actions CI/CD. So it is the automation platform that runs workflows triggered by repository events. So we use CI for testing and CD for production releases. For further explanation of GitHub Actions, my teammate will further discuss about this.
Good day, everyone. My name is Gerald, the DevOps and the tester of the Gcash, and one of the developers of the Pomodify. So, here I'm gonna explain the GitHub actions that we have, the workflows that we use within the project. So, first we're gonna discuss the CI, or the continuous integration workflow that we have. So on the very first, we actually have 7 phases and 4 layers of test. So the very first layer, very first phase is the lint and validate. So this is the first job. So this is the entry point of the pipeline, and serves as a quick sanity check before running expensive test. It validates that both the front end and the back end Docker files exist and their expected locations, and uses GitHub commands to check merge conflicts, so that you'll be able to merge those. Cut mo na lang to, Hana. Okay, so the very first job, or the very first phase of our continuous integration, is the lint and validate. So this is the entry point of our continuous integration. So it validates if the Docker files for backends and go ahead and proceed to the first phase of our continuous integration workflow. The first is the lint and validate. So this makes sure that our Docker files for both front end and back end are both existing with the current branch. And this also check if those 2 branches that will be merged will not have any merge conflict to them, so that we'll be able to proceed merging those 2 branches. Next is the unit testing, the phase 2 and the layer 1 of the continuous integration. So on this, unit test verified that the individual functions and components work correctly in complete isolation without database connections, network calls, or external services. For the front end, it used Angular's Karma, Test Runner, and for the backend, it uses JUnit 5 and Mockito for the dependency test. Next is the phase 3 and also the layer 2 of the testing, the integration testing that uses test containers and the database. So integration test, this verify that the different parts of the system work together correctly, especially using the test API endpoints with real PostgreSQL database. So we run MVN verify, which triggers test containers to spin up an actual PostgreSQL Docker container that matches the production database exactly. Next phase, which is the phase 4, the end-to-end test and the layer 3 of our testing. The E2ER, end-to-end test that uses Playwright. So the end-to-end test simulates real user interaction by automating a browser to click buttons, fill forms, and navigate pages. So this phase starts first Angular development server in the background and then waits 60 seconds for the local host to become responsive once ready. So the Playwright executes the test suite with 30 seconds timeout per test, and the tests cover crucial workflows like landing page, navigations, sign up flows, session management, and setting configurations. Okay, for the phase 5 of the continuous integration workflow, this is the build and test Docker image. So this phase only runs after all 3 testing layers are already passed, ensuring that we don't waste resources building images for broken code. It sets up Docker builds for efficient multi-platform builds, then builds both front-end and back-end Docker images tag with PR numbers, for example, Pomodify front-end and then the PR number. Then after building it, it performs smoke test by actually running each container to verify they start successfully. Okay, the next and the 6th stage of the continuous integration is the build SBOM scan and sign layer, which is the layer 4 of our testing. So this layer, this security focus phase implements supply chain security best practices. So first, it rebuilds and pushes the Docker image to the Docker Hub with the PR tag. Then it generates the SBOM or the software bill of materials. It uses SIFT in SPDX JSON format, which creates complete inventory of every dependencies in each image. So these SBOMs are uploaded as artifacts for the compliance audit purposes. Next is the Trivy scan, both images for critical and high severity vulnerabilities, failing the pipeline if any found. Finally, the cosign, the cryptography sign both images using the private key stored in the GitHub secrets, ensuring that the deployed image can be verified as authentic and untampered. And finally, the phase 7 and the last phase of the continuous integration workflow, the CI summary. So this final phase always runs regardless of whether previous phases succeeded or failed. The if always condition, it aggregates the results from all 6 previous phases and determines the overall CI status. If everything passed, it prints success summary indicating the PR is ready to merge, and that deployment will start automatically after merge. If the any phase failed, it generates detailed error report identifying exact which job failed. So it will create a GitHub issue with troubleshooting guidance, post comment on PR linking to the issue, and assign the issue to the PR author. This ensures that the developers get actionable feedback without having to dig through logs. Okay, now that the continuous integration workflow passed, we're gonna go ahead and proceed to the deployment workflow of our system. So this ensure that the system will be able to deploy successfully to our server. So first phase, or the first job that will be running, is the build and push production image. So the job of this phase is to make sure that the back end and the front end image will be successfully built, and will be able to sign into the cosign, so that we'll be able to determine the authenticity and the untemperedness of the Docker containers. Next, once the build and push production image passed, we're gonna go ahead and proceed to the deployment to the EC2 server. So what it does, it installed the cosigns verification, so that the server knows that the Dockers, or the components that will be pulled into the server, is authentic, and no security concerns or such. So this process also deploys the server deploys the Docker containers that was built locally, by pulling it on the server, running it, and make sure that it will pass by checking the health of the containers. So next, once the deployment is successful, it will automatically go to the final stage, which is creating the final and the summary of the deployment process. So that's the whole GitHub Actions, continuous integration, and continuous deployment process that we have in Pomodify.
Good day, everyone. My name is Simon, and I am the lead web developer from the group Gcash. So, my job here is to walk through to showcase what is inside of our application. First, we are going to log in, and we're going to use a account. So after we successfully log in, we're going to redirected to the dashboard of the user. So what we have here is we use a user, and it is manipulated so that we can showcase our feature for the badges and also the notifications. So what I'm going to discuss first is I'm gonna show you what is inside the dashboard. So as you can see the current streak, best streak, total sessions, activities, all-time focus, and this week. So what is the best I want to discuss and show in the dashboard? What we have here is the plus sign, and it serves as where our implementation of our AI going to demonstrate. So what is the use of AI in our application? First is it helps the user to suggest and for generating a plan, so that the user will going to avoid hard time and provide a also the best guides for what is the study plan that is going to use. So we're going to try here for the example. So we're going to type a session or activities that will help us help for the from the AI. So for example, we're going to do about going to focus on learning Korean. So when we click the generate plans, this will be serve as the trigger to the AI to generate the suggested plan for the user. So as you can see here, what was the AI provided to the user is the beginner plan and also the intermediate plan. So with this, the user can have an overview. So it serve as the guide. So what will the path that is she or he going to use. So for example, we're going to choose the intermediate path. So after successfully chose the chose the suggested path, it is redirected to the session pages. So in the session pages, what we can see here is the timer itself, and also the notes, and also the notes also. So I'm going to demonstrate also the use of AI in this part. So what we have here is this icon. So it will also serve as an trigger to the in AI, and helps us to it helps the user for the suggesting about the step by step. So once we click this icon, so as you can see, the AI suggested the pattern or the step by step plan so upon for the user. So what we have here also is you can use it is the trigger for the timer if you're going to start it. So later it will also demonstrate by my co-developer for how it works. So when I click the back, it will also give the glimpse or the output of the session that we are created earlier using the AI. So also it is also listed in the list of all the activities here in the activities page. And also as upon explaining earlier, what we have is the feature for the notifications and also the badges. So the badges is also serve as the token for the milestone of the user depending of achievement. So as I explained earlier, our sample account that is used is manipulated, so for the sake of the demonstration of all the badges, so we have here different kinds of badges, and it is total of 6 achievements. And it also the user going to receive these badges depends of their milestone upon using the applications. And also we have here the notification bell, and also it is served as the when the user going to receive their badges, and also notification from the application. So when we click a sample notification here, when the user click this, it will trigger to the it will show the notification dialog itself, and also the dialog box that was showing the achievements, and also the informing the member that the user informing the user that he or she will receive a badge for that milestone.
So, good day everyone. I'm Ivan Delumen, the UI/UX slash developer of the GCash. So, papagtuloy natin yung ating walkthrough sa ating system. So, then, navigate tayo sa activities. Then, magkikreate tayo ng activities. Create tayo ng bagong activity name. It's learning. Then, lagyan natin siya sa category na learn. Then, pwede rin tayo pumili ng color for the color tag ng ating activity and the session itself. Then, create activity. Pagkatapos mo gumawa ng activity is magkagawa na tayo ng session sa loob. Then, piliin lang natin yung shortest time since papakita ko sa inyo paano gumagana sa amin yung aming session. So, dito is once na ni-start natin yung session is mag-continue siya kahit na mag-navigate back tayo sa ating system. So, habang nag-run yung ating yung session natin is i-explain natin yung ibang mga functionality na meron tayo dito sa ating system. So, here's the report page. So, as you can see is makikita mo dito yung mga card mo. Then, nakalagay dito ang total hours focus, daily average focus, then total break, then yung total session na meron ka, then yung mga na-abandon na session mo na. As you can see, magkakaroon ka rin dito ng trends para sa current week and previous week ng nagawa mo. Then sa completion rate also. Then makita mo rin dito yung mga na complete mong activity. Meron dito tayong 3 selected radio, which is the week, month, and a year. Then navigate naman tayo sa settings. So nito na sa settings. So ang settings is depende siya sa user kung anong gusto niyang baguhin or ibahin sa kanyang system. Meron dito na pwede niyang i-off ang desktop notification, sounds, then pwede din siya pumili ng sounds ng type, then yung volume, then meron dito tayong dark mode, then meron din tayong timer settings, which is yung meron tayong auto breaks, then auto focus. For the privacy and data, meron naman tayong clear session history, then clear activity data, then meron din tayong delete account. So, balik tayo dito sa ating activity. Pwede mo rin siyang ma-edit, mabago. Then, pwede mo rin siyang i-delete. Try natin mag-delete ng isa. Try natin delete quick focus. Then, balik na tayo sa ating session. As you can see, running pa rin siya. Then, pwede rin tayo mag-skip ng next phase if naka-freestyle yung ating selected na session. And for the classic naman is naka-lock lang siya, which is you need to, as you can see, meron tayong 2 types of session, which is the freestyle and classic. So for freestyle is you can skip pace for the focus. Then if sa classic naman is wala siyang skip pace. Then meron din tayong pause, stop, then meron tayong complete session, which is magko-complete na siya depende dun sa cycle na natapos, sa kung anong focus or break ka na complete session. So as we wait, go. So with the 5 remaining left, then after one cycle, you will receive a Asaan? Kasi here you can see we also have a FCM, which is a asan na? Go. So, habang malapit na matapos is magkakaroon to ng notification dito. Then, also, a sounds na nag-indicate na tapos na yung cycle ng isang user. Wait lang natin. Since tapos na. So, naglalag siya, no? So, as you can see is meron kaming in-implement na FCM, which is a push notification, then mag-notify siya sa user once na matapos yung kanyang session, which is it's either break or focus. So, overall is yun lang naman ang aming system. So, for the last one, features for we have a PWA, which is a progressive web application, which is you can download the system of without accessing the system and web application. So for example, when you download this, you can use it in any device without using a Chrome. So overall, that's just the features and the system that the system meron kami sa loob ng isang system.
So that's all for the presentation and demonstration of our project. If you want to explore more on our web application, you can visit on Pomodify.site or you can just click the link on the description. That's all. Thank you po.